Hi there, this is Corey Gerard, and I have a message for you about heaven and the earth. So, if everybody really wants to go to heaven, then why don't you want to make heaven down here? Prime examples. In this society controlled by the most dominant of species, which is certainly mankind, you have a many races notion amongst the entire human race. But in heaven, you'll find a one race ideal amongst the saintly population there. Now, on the worldly situated, those many races of humanity are also divided by racist perspective viewpoints concerning their own kind, meaning many people weren't conditioned to appreciate the variety of appearances in persons perceived to be unlike them. But in the heavenly plane of existence, angelics attribute those same differences of appearances to God's limitless abilities regarding the formation of such varieties of his choosing. So the angels wouldn't be racist towards each other unless they felt that God should have only chosen one particular color for his creation of sentient life forms, and the angels don't feel that way because an exclusion of many colors except for the lightest ones would pretty much indicate that God only placed beauty and remarkability onto a singular rather than so many. Mankind is also divided by continent, country, hemisphere, and regions, which compels the worldly dwellers to refer to each other as aliens amongst, and this particular factor has divided the world into many governments, which are separate but on a somewhat similar accord. Now in the ethereal heavens, there are no such circumstances regarding varying established governments, nor an alien amongst their own complex, because if there were, then the saintly brethren and sisterhood factions would have developed prejudice, bias, perspective, viewpoints towards their own habitation kind. Down here, within planetary confines, society is divided up amongst three social classes of poor, middle class, and wealthy, for the not so well, the well enough, and the extremely well. Now, up in heaven, all are of privilege and surely do receive much of it. But there are classifications for the host of heaven, which has much to do with duty, purpose, function, and rank. Now, as many may know, the controllers of world governments have allowed some of the worst cases of poverty to exist, even though these governing bodies possessed enough resources to put an end to such things as hunger, famine, sickness, and homelessness. But in heaven, things like poverty weren't allowed to exist in the first place, because if it did, then it wouldn't have been heaven in all technical terms. And things that involve the suffering of others are usually structured for bad intent purposes. So heaven finds no place for such woes. And if everyone really wants to go to heaven, then why don't they make heaven down here? This is Corey Gerard. Thank you for tuning in to this message.